Hey you guys, welcome back. So today's a little bit of a really busy day for me, but there was no way I was going to let today get by without at least taking a very brief moment to say I almost said happy birthday. Well, I guess technically, depending on how you want to look at it, happy anniversary to one of my all-time favorite films, and that is indeed Creepshow, the George Romero film written by Stephen King, which is a film I saw when I was way too young, but boy did I fall in love with it, even if it took me a while to actually make it all the way through the crate, it's like, but still, eventually I did. That was one of the early films too that really got me into horror films and really, as well as really got my love of horror films kind of, got that ball rolling. And I've talked about Creepshow like so many times over the years. Now, some of you maybe haven't seen some of the previous videos on it, but it's just a film that just means so much to me. And as one of my favorite films, literally, I've collected stuff over the years. And Creepshow stuff wasn't, it's not like right now where you can find actually a decent amount of stuff. For the longest time, there wasn't anything. Creepshow was in a movie where, you didn't have toy lines, trying to put stuff out or anything like that. I mean, a lot of times the only thing you could find was like a bootleg t-shirt or something, there wasn't really anything. But one of the things I've always gone after are just some of the original like promotional items. Obviously the poster, which makes perfect sense, teaser poster and the one sheet poster. And my teaser poster is the one I've gotten a ton of signatures on. I don't know how many more I'm hoping I can still get a couple more, but I mean, unfortunately, people aren't as around anymore, so it's getting a little harder, but at least for right now, I definitely have a decent amount. So if it got to the point where I had to call it, I think I still have enough on there where I'd be happy. And even other things like the lobby card set and the press kit, and even some of the promotional items, like for example, that countertop display that they sent out to movie theaters to have like on the, the ticket counter or the like concession, counter or something like that, which I was so happy to finally get one of those. And then I think the most recent one, as far as that kind of thing goes, which luckily I do have right here, is of course one of the original promo soda cups that were sent out to movie theaters and stuff at the time, which now the only downfall to these, this is kind of one of those where like I would put it off because I'm like, how much do I really want to pay for a cup? It's like, well, eventually I was just like, they're not going to be around that much longer because of course they're made out of like a wax paper and they're literally disintegrating, which is sad. Even this one, which is in decent shape, but still, it's like, I don't know how much more life I'm going to get out of this one. Definitely got to the point where I had to make a decision like, well, if I'm going to get one, I definitely need to get one now. And even other things, I mean, obviously the comic book version with amazing artwork. Now this is a reprint. I actually do have an original somewhere. I'm pretty sure I think it's like very well protected in a box, so I'm not going to dig it out. But I mean, obviously this thing, when the one that I had as a kid, which I was so surprised I actually convinced my parents to buy me this from like a bookstore. I used to read this all the time. And as I've told the story many times, like one of the first VHS that I ever had, which again, I'm so surprised. I don't know how I convinced my parents of this, but not long after we got our VCR, I think one of the things was like a Disney thing or something, but believe it or not, one of the very early VHS was Creepshow. And the funny thing is, it was a clamshell. It was actually the clamshell. Now, this is not my VHS. I actually do have it in another room, but this is, some of you, if you saw it, I actually did get a beta copy, an original beta copy of it. I do have it on a couple formats, including beta, my original VHS. I do have a Laserdisc, and some of you also may remember, which was, I think, was it earlier this year or last year? I can't remember. Did actually get the CED format, which was an early 80s format, kind of an analog format, which again, it's just part of the Creepshow collection, which I absolutely love. And then there's been other stuff, obviously, like these days, like is the NECA figure of the Spectre, in the window and everything. Even though we're supposed to get more Creepshow figures from NECA, and then they haven't come out, so I don't know. I'm guessing at this point we probably won't get any, which is kind of a shame. And obviously all the different video releases over the years, as far as like I'll tell you the ones I mentioned, DVD, Blu-ray, and then obviously the 4K release, which is absolutely amazing. And one thing that took forever is I have the digital copy, the Apple digital copy. I've had that, bought that like years and years and years ago, and it literally just updated to the 4K version, like not too long. It was only, I think, a few months ago when that finally happened. But for the longest time, it was just HD, and not the HD that, for example, was on like the previous like Scream Factory Blu-ray release, but like it was the old HD version, like the one that was on like the old like Warner Brothers Blu-ray, and even that HD master, I'm pretty sure actually was like done during the DVD time. So it's like that's what was on the digital. Finally upgraded to 4K. So it's like, oh good, that was long overdue. And of course, the soundtrack is one of my all-time favorites. I listen to the soundtrack so much. I think it would shock people how much I listen to it, and I have it on a couple. Well, I shouldn't say a couple formats. Well, I have the LP. I have the original LP, and I do have 3 different versions of it on CD. Actually, I think there was like a Japanese release, I think, from a long time ago, and then there have been 2 releases from La La Land. I think it was the original release that they put out, and then the release that they put out just a few years ago, which is fantastic because it has the complete score, but also has some of the library music on it as well. And again, I think it would shock people how often I do listen to that soundtrack. Maybe not you guys. Maybe you guys like wouldn't be shocked, but maybe other people would. And as I mentioned before, the most prized thing I have in my collection, not just Creepshow, but I mean like everything that I have ever gotten over the years in anything, is the animation cell that I have from Creepshow. Oh, I have 2 actually, 2 animation cells from Creepshow, which I got, when did I get them? It was like 7 years ago now or something like that, but it is indeed the original animation cell from the film. It's actually literally, a part of the film. And of course that I bought them directly from Rick Hadazone, who did the animation for Creepshow. And I mean, it literally a piece of the film. And it's the amazing thing about it is the fact that it also, I mean, there's only one of them. Obviously there's tons of animation cells from the film, but the ones that I have, for that specific, second, that's the only one. And I have never, ever since I got that, I've never once taken for granted the fact that I do actually have it. And it is literally the most amazing thing I have over anything else that I do have. Especially since one of them is the moment when it goes from the live action to the animation. That moment where there's like the lightning flash and then it goes to the animation. And that first moment when it goes to animation, that's the cell that I have. Again, I have 2, but that specific one, it's like I couldn't imagine having a more perfect animation cell from Creepshow. But anyway, I could talk about Creepshow like all day long, and I'm sure I will many more times in general. But yeah, I just wanted to squeeze this in real quick and again say happy anniversary to Creepshow, which was released on November 10th, 1982, at least here in the States. And it's easy for me to say it was one of the films that literally changed my life, and I am going to be appreciative of it for the rest of my life. And a special thank you to my channel members. As always, I appreciate you guys so much, with more exclusive content coming up right away. So let me know anything Creepshow related, because I absolutely love, hearing what you guys say. Unless you hate it, I don't know. You don't have to tell me that. But anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Creepshow, the most fun you'll ever have being scared.